Hello everyone, I'm Kelly Walters, and today you can see that Jenna is out, so I am lucky enough to be fulfilling her spot on this. Again, thank you so much for attending this live here on Stahls. We are going to play, and it's funny because I call everything play. At this point in time when it is 6 colors, to me it's playing. But we're going to create a really cool fall vibe using new fall colors, CAD-CUT Glitter Flake, CAD-CUT Ultra Weed. So I'm going to actually step in front of where I'm standing now. I'm going to try to give you 3 different points of view. I really want to be able to interact with you guys, and this is the best way for me to read the comments. So once I'm done cutting, I'll come back to this little station and weed for you. You won't be able to see it, but I'll hold it up as I go. It should go fairly quick on the weeding process, and then I'll take it over press and we'll go from there. So I am just going to pop in front. Also, I am wearing a mic, so if you see me messing with the cord, it's because it's like 20 miles long and I don't want to fall on live. So bear with me. So I'm going to turn on the front camera. Hi, George. Good morning, Dimitri. Again, I'm going to step away from the comments, so I won't be able to see, but I will definitely be back. So I'll be hopefully able to answer questions and go over any comments as well. So I'm going to pop this up. All right, so as you can see, I'm moving this cord and I'm going to step to the front. Okay, so today, like I said, we are going to get creative. I'm all about getting creative and thinking outside the box. How can you create something that's a little different than your competitor? Or what's going to give you ideas to maybe move forward down a different path for market? And especially right now when the world is ever evolving, now's a really good time to kind of think of what could I do different that would bring an extra, revenue stream. So today, this is Independent Trading Co. It's a sweatshirt. Fall is right around the corner. It's going to be hot one day, and then it's going to drop to 60s and 70s the next. So we are using a sage color. It's very, very cozy, very soft. V-neck, kind of that, that vintage with the slit. It is stitched, so you shouldn't have any type of unraveling. And then, of course, the drawstring. It's cozy, it's comfortable. You can wear it with tennis shoes, you can wear it inside if you're trapped, or you can just put it on even, right? So let me show you the colors. We will eventually go over the cost of this item, but for now, we'll just show you what we're making. So this is our new Vegas gold color. It does kind of have a little bit of a metallic hue to it. If you have not seen it in person, then it's not matte. It's matte, but it's not a flat Vegas gold. This next color is cream. To me, it has a little bit more of a butter color than what we think of as cream, but we're going to be making a coffee cup with pumpkins, and while I'm not a pumpkin spice latte lover, I know there's a whole clique out there for it. So in this case, those 2 colors are going to make up our coffee cup, as well as just regular white for the lid. We're going to have the new color pumpkin as a pumpkin. And then to bring in the new glitter flake colors, I know we've done a couple of videos on these, but they are just stunning colors. I know if you caught the live with myself and Jenna previously, I couldn't tell what color the red was, and it is beautiful. It's like a really, really deep orange with a slight tone of red. It's hard to describe it, but it's a gorgeous color. This is going to be our other pumpkin. And then the teak wood, which to me is almost a black with a bronze glitter on top. I'm trying to describe the colors because everything looks different on paper, everything looks different in the camera, and you know, until you really see it up close and personal, you don't realize how magnificent and striking these colors are. I definitely feel like both those glitter flake colors will carry you through the end of the year and even creeping into Valentine's Day. So if you invest in those and you're not quite sure if you're going to get your use out of them, I guarantee you there will be ways. If not, then come back to get the ways. So I'm going to show you the art. We'll go to CAD-CUT HTV. That's how I edit everything and cut. So I'm going to head back now. I am going to keep this on. And I just realized that you guys had both views, so sorry about that. Okay, so I'm back here. Let me see if we've got any questions. Nope, hello from Iowa. Washington, good morning, good morning. Okay, I am going to share my screen now. Bear with me. Okay, so this is the art that we are using. As you can see, I've got my coffee cup and my two pumpkins. Hopefully by the colors I have chosen, you can see where everything is going to fall. Now we do have some swatches. If you aren't familiar with CAD-CUT HTV, let me just show you something really quick. I absolutely love this program. Coming from somebody that is not graphic art trained. Let me see. If you go into Stahls glitter plate, you can actually select, oh, that's glitter. This isn't the one I wanted. Of course, here I am trying to show you something and I can't get to it. There we go. So with these colors, it's actually going to change what it looks like. Now, this is simple. I'm sure you guys are using art programs that are already doing this, but maybe you're tuning in today and you're just trying to figure out the whole world of heat transfer vinyl. This is going to give you a better idea on what we can do or what you can do in this browser. Okay, I'm gonna go back. I'm just gonna try to mimic whatever color I'm using. Okay, I already have my art set. Today we're going to be cutting at 10.7 in width, as you can see here. So now I'm going to send a vector cut. Now you can't see this, so I'm going to remove that. And then now I'm going to share. I had this the other day, you guys. Let me see. Oh, it would help if I pulled up the program. Alrighty, here we go. I'm gonna just take this to vector cut. Alrighty, so from here, all I had to do was send to vector cut from CAD-CUT HTV. It downloads, and I just double click the document, and then it pops up immediately into CAD-CUT HTV for me. I'm going to zoom in because I have terrible eyes, and I don't know who can really see something that's that tiny. Now, we're not using any patterns today, so we need to make sure that we mirror our image. So I have mirrored that. And then I'm going to start cutting with our ultra weed. So I am selecting one color first. I like to maximize as much of the material as possible, and especially from a margin standpoint. I am sure you guys do the same. You could also adjust this or go back vertical if you were doing multiple. Again, you probably already know that, but for those that are new, you may not. Okay, I am going to pop myself back up to the front. Okay, well, I can't show my screen and cutting at the same time, so we're going to choose cutting. That way you can watch how I load in the material and then feed it that way. We're going to go color by color, so you will see that. Okay, so with this, I'm using a Roland GS24. I can feed it in there. If you see my back at any time, I apologize. Let me get it situated, and then I will turn back around. With the GS24, you want to make sure that we're keeping our controllers within the white lines. I'm going to go ahead and load it to the edge. And turn this around. Okay, right now what I am doing, probably cannot see this, but I'm just adjusting my width on vector cut. That way it knows how long my material actually is. I'm going to double check my force. I was at glitter flake earlier. I do have a fairly new blade in there. I'm cutting at 60 grams. And then all I have to do is make sure my cutter is plugged into my computer. And then now we start cutting. So we're going to do this for each material. And as you saw, they were really, really simple designs. So it's going to cut very quick. And then the weeding process should be just as easy. Okay, excuse me, I'm going to just toss this to the side. I'm only working with so much space here, and I don't want it to get too crowded for you. Okay, the next color up is going to be our Vegas Gold. And this was the, I don't know, like the cup holder, the cardboard thing that keeps your drink warm or not from burning your hands. Let's see. I'm going to scroll down the comments really quick. Good morning. Good morning. Alrighty. So again, I'm going back to my edge here. On this screen, I am changing it. I'll actually just go to screen share. So now I'm going to select the color that best matches my roll, just so I know what I'm doing. Whoop. Sorry, guys. Too many layouts here. Alrighty. Back to CADWorks Live. Again, my media is still measuring at 13.4 in the center, so I don't need to do any adjusting here, and I don't need to do any adjusting here. I'm going to go ahead and cut that. And again, this is just a rectangle, so this is done. Okay, cut that guy off. Now, there's definitely ways that you can simplify the art. You could make it 1 to 2 color. You could add some textures in the pumpkins with just using the same color, but by adding a texture or lines or polka dots, you're really kind of, you're what's the word I'm looking for? You're tricking the eye thinking that it's actually something different when it's not. All right, now we're going to do the white part, and if you can guess, the white part on the art, even though I showed it to you, comment below, because I feel like this should be pretty darn easy to know what the white will be for a coffee cup. Now, I'm not going to show you the CAD-Works, or excuse me, the vector cut as I switch it out because we're talking even smaller than the last piece. And by the time I do that, it would actually already be done. So my piece, I am actually just going to cut that one more time because when I went and looked at my file, I couldn't tell if my art was actually below where it needed to be, so just for safety measures, I'm going to do it one more time. And then I'm just going to feed this out rather than cutting that off, readjusting it. And then I will mark my new origin point, which is basically just telling the cutter that this is the starting point, not the edge of the material. So I'm going to cut this one more time. And as you can see how quickly this goes, it just goes so fast. Okay, now that is done, find my line. Okay, we have one more color of Ultra Weed, which is the pumpkin. Now, this one is actually the small pumpkin, so this one's going to take just a smidge longer. All right, guys, I'm stepping in front. All right. We'll go back. Come here. As you can see, I've pulled vector cut back up. I've now selected the orange pumpkin. I'm just going to bring it down to the edge of the line. So earlier with the white piece, it was like this when it was cutting. That's why I chose to go ahead and cut one more time. Just got a little fast on what I was doing, so just wanted to make sure I'm doing it correctly for you guys. All right, sending to cut. Now, after this one, I will adjust my force. I'll bump up to 100 grams, and then we will cut the glitter plate. I'll weed, which should go there fairly quick. At that time, if you guys have any questions, definitely start popping them below. That way, by the time I go to look at them, they will be registering with us. Okay. I normally stick all of my stuff either all over my legs, like carriers normally all over my legs by the time I'm done weeding and applying. Same thing for savers on rolls. Okay, the next one we're going to do is the largest pumpkin. And again, this is the Harvest Red. When I open this, let's see if you can just see on camera, it pulls orange, but I believe it's because you've got more of that iridescent and gold specks of glitter clay, so it's pulling in there. But it is definitely more of a deep red. Nope, still seeing orange. Maybe that's just my screen or my eyes. All right, going to adjust my rollers on this. little bit. Oh, too short. I'm a perfectionist, so bear with me. Alrighty. I'm gonna go ahead and switch back to the art so you guys can see that. This is now going to be the larger pumpkin. And we will need to adjust our width of the media, which is right here in the material size. Let that go ahead and roll back to the edge, and then it'll tell me. Okay, so we're at 17.9. And let me pop this up. Perfect. I'm going to change my force. I'm going to bump it up to 100 grams. Exit the keyboard. For me, you probably can't see that. And then now we're going to cut. So I went back and forth between the little part on a coffee cup between the harvest red or the tea. But because of the tones of the coffee cup being in that very, very muted, warm cream color, I chose to go with the teak wood and then keep the pumpkin be, of course, the harvest red and then the pumpkin color. I think it would be really fun to take this design and add in patterns. You could add in, you know, a couple of patterns online and kind of make it look like the texture of the pumpkin, doing some type of watercolor. Tie-dye is huge and it's everywhere, so maybe pulling in certain colors like that. Of course, you could make it work for fall. You could make it work for Halloween. Change the pumpkins to hearts, or Christmas trees. It's a design that I feel like you can use in numerous ways and just kind of create something each time. Distress the heck out of it and do a one color. And maybe that heart is actually the material showing through versus another material laid on top. All right, the smallest design of them all is the teak wood. It is the tiny little heart that goes on top of the coffee cup. Now, we aren't doing any layering on glitter flake. You can't layer on top of glitter flake. Kind of feels like sandpaper, but don't worry, that glitter is not going to just pop off everywhere. But you can put glitter flake on top of ultra lead. The only cutout that we have is the coffee cup itself, where the Vegas gold is just going to set into that. I really wanted to keep that as thin as possible, especially because at the end of the day, there's going to be 3 total layers for that. I don't know about you, but with the way materials are so thin, especially this ultra lead that we have, the thinner the better on a shirt, and you know, I just wouldn't want it to be kind of bulky, especially because there's already a lot going on. All right, so this is going to cut. This is the heart that has a little bit of stress through it. All right, and we're done. So I'm going to go ahead and turn this off. Cut this out, and it is just a tiny square. And then I'm going to just leave this media right here. 1, let's count 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, I'm going to unplug this. And then this is just going to spin back around. Okay, so this again is the hoodie that we're going to be using if you are just turning in. Tuning. And I'm going to just place this right below. My heat press is set to 305. Excuse me, 302. Glitter flake can be applied at 302 for 10 to 12 seconds, and ultra weed is 260 to 300 degrees. Now, the 2 degrees, it'll be fine with how plush this sweatshirt is. I really want to make sure that there's enough heat that is going to be going through the ultra weed. Now it's plush on the outside and very smooth on the it is plush on the inside and very smooth on the outside. So because we are using such a thin material like ultra weed, we're not going to be picking up any type of texture. Alrighty, because like I said, my designs are so small, I am just going to pop this up. Let's turn this around. Okay, as I get going, let's check. Gary, yes, your question is, can somebody purchase a roll and cutter free Stahls? You sure can. Customer service can take care of you. Let's see. Or if you have any questions, then I can absolutely take care of you as well. Okay, I am trying to find my cut lines, so bear with me. This is when I need another light. Okay, I think around that. Here we go. Just cutting off excess material. It's just going to make it a little bit easier when it comes to reading. Do you have any other? Good morning, Kelly. Hi, Sam. Okay, just checking those out. Okay, let's finish these. Now, I do have, I'm using an auto plan, a Hotronix auto plan, and I already have my 2 settings set. We're going to be tacking down for 4 seconds. And then when we get to the final application, I'm going to bump up the time to where it applies for the full, let's try it again. The full 12 seconds. All right, last one, which is the white one. Okay. I don't want to cut too much on this one because this is the one that I did twice. Oh, here we go. All right. So this is the excess material that we had. You could save these scraps. Let's see if I can get a better. It still kind of pulls a little orange to me with what I see personally. But it's just a beautiful color, you guys. Just take my word for it. Just get a yard if that's what makes you feel comfortable, and then bump up from there. But I don't have any doubts that you will be able to find a good use for that material. Okay, then I just because I'm using my scraps. I need like 16 lights where I'm working. I have terrible eyes, and sometimes this does not help. Okay, so I'm just going to hold this up. Karen, if it was the color I just had, it is the Harvest Red. It is the new glitter flake. It's one of the new fall glitter flake colors. Right now, I am just weeding Ultra Weed White. Yeah, okay, so this was the one that did get brutally chopped, and I wasn't paying attention. Things not to do in a production setting, right? Okay, let me just wiggle this guy around. What is going on? We're going to pause on the white and move to the pumpkin. Okay, because I had lines in my pumpkin, there's nothing to weed. We're weeding. There's no cavities, you guys. Talking and weeding at the same time is interesting. All right, now I'm just going to trim this down. And then make it look all pretty. Now, a tip for me, I actually prefer to, we're doing 6 colors, right? The other thing is there's a center, but there's no large center to this art. It is really kind of the middle small pumpkin. So what I'm going to do is lay it out. That way I can find the middle a little bit easier, or at least to my liking. So here's the harvest red. Trim this one out. Okay, so just to give you an idea, I'm going to put the pumpkin on top. That way I know that I want to do one or the other first. I will probably do the small one first and then go and lay the second one. Well, I'll show you what it looks like. So I just reversed it. I actually put the orange pumpkin behind the harvest red. Oh, there we go, kind of. Alrighty, more scraps. The smallest is the teak, and this is a pretty good representation of the material, or at least the color. So as you can see, there we go. There is a line. This little guy popped off. So I'm just going to go back, stick her down to where you can see that this part is complete. And again, this is just a really small accent piece. I didn't like how bare the coffee cup was. And that is just me going, okay, how could we make this more unique? So I got to thinking, if you do schools, right, and maybe you want to do a different approach on spirit wear this year, change that part out for whatever the mascot is. And then that way you have now customized that for multiple people. Or a school district. I like that my coffee cup is all messed up, you guys. You may have to do the white just one more time. So really quick, while we are chatting, I am going to pop that artwork right back up because I had already exited out of that. Put this back up to my computer. Zoom in just one more second. I know you can't see this. I know you can only see my face. So sorry, we are so up close and personal. Okay, so before I cut that tiny little piece, because it is so small, I'm going to finish weeding these coffee cups. And I'll bump it right back to the front. Okay, so I don't know if you can see this or even zoom in, but this weaves so easily. And this part is the what is happening to my art? Ah, I apparently don't know what it looks like. It just looks so weird when you see one. So anyway, let me just leave this excess. Man, really? I messed up on 2 pieces? No way. Nope, I didn't. It was just the white. So this little chunk is actually where the pumpkin goes. So let me just show you that. This will be the first piece that I want to lay down first. So voila. My coffee cup might be a little massive on the shirt, but I normally make art a little too small. So the bigger the better, right? Not necessarily when it comes to art. Alrighty. So this part is the section that goes in between that. That is done. And then that heart goes just right in the center on top of that. Sometimes I trim these edges, sometimes I just cut them off. If you have a guillotine, then I'm sure that is so much easier. So that is our coffee cup. We are missing the top part. Here's the white. Okay. So close. Okay, so this is what it's going to look like without the top white part of the coffee. So I am going to run back and cut this little piece just one more time. Quickly adjust my pores. I do have my cord going over this, so I'm just going to make sure that there is no hiccup when it comes to actually feeding the material into the cutter. Slide it down. All right, let's get that set up. I have no idea if you could hear me on that, so thank you for being patient. For some reason, I have popped myself out of it, and that was the only reason why you couldn't hear the audio. So I appreciate you all so much for staying with me on this live. Clearly, I've had a couple of hiccups, but we're going to come back strong once you see the, the whole design done. So this is the top part of our coffee cup. We are going to finish that, and that will be our last piece. Alrighty, finished. Okay, so again, one more quick look before we go to apply. And this is the full design. This looks pretty big, so it's just gonna be like an all over print on the sweatshirt. All right, I am going to pop up the press. So there you can see and watch everything in action. Okay, I am doing what is called threading. So what that means is you open it like a pillowcase and you just thread it on. Now the cool thing about our presses, if you just saw, especially since this one is on a stand, I just basically flipped it from the back to the front. I do my best to try to find the center and then just lightly pull it down. I need to check a couple of things with my press. This clam will read pressure and needs pre-press. So I'm going to go ahead and just pull it down. And I need to get to a medium pressure, which is a 4/5/6. And I'm adding 6, so I'm just going to stay there. All right, we have pre-pressed our garment, and like I said, the first color, I know there's a little bit of a glare, but the first color I am going to go with is actually going to be this the Vegas gold color. Now, what I also like to do is to try to find the center point, and I put the two farthest edges together. So I'm going to hang that on. Okay. Now I'm just lining up this little point that I created with the net tag. I know not every manufacturer gets them in straight, so we are just going to quick with this one and get it in. So as you can see, I have pulled just about everything away, leaving me with that Vegas gold color first. So again, we're going to be pressing for 4 seconds to just tack down these colors. Got my cover sheet on. Everything's a hot peel. Again, carrier is now attached to me. From this one, I am just going to build the coffee cup. So, just line it up. Now, what I'm doing is following this curve line as well as the curve of the pumpkin. Sliding it down just there. Again, another 4 seconds. Top peel. And I'm just going to make sure that that trying to keep my lines as straight as possible. Okay, another 4 seconds. And another hot peel. Right, coming in with this pumpkin. Now I'm choosing to do this very top piece last because I still have a part to do. And one thing that I have noticed with how thin the weave is, especially if I'm using glitter plate that has a really thick carrier, sometimes I can have a little bit of lines from the carrier, but if I just go back in and repress, then there is no problem at all. All right, 4 more seconds, you guys. We have, after this one, we have 1 more 4 seconds and then the white. Oh, we did that one at the same time. Well, there you go. Thank goodness that this is up here. That's actually not a problem. We could have knocked these out, no problem, at the same time. Same thing for this little part. Well, at least you guys know that I am a real person, and I do make mistakes. Okay, so what you could have done, sorry, I like the word. You could have made this a little bit smaller and then applied actually fruit at the same time. So we just killed 2 birds with 1 stone. I'm not mad about it. And I'm sure from production purposes, you know, that's actually a very nice thing. There we go. Now what I'm going to do is actually just tack this down for 4 seconds, peel the carrier, and then I just want to see there's a little bit of a line. You can't really see it right there, but again, it's perfectionist Sally over here, so I'm changing my time up to 8 seconds since we've already applied for 4, and that will finish the total of 12 seconds for glitter plate. Okay, guys, thanks for so beautiful. Okay, that is the finished product. We are going to bump to the front. Hello. Okay. You ready? Do you like it? I think it turned out really, really cute. If you have seen any of my videos, I like cute and okay, really cute, super cute. So I'll make sure I find some more descriptive words. But this couldn't be more on trend with fall right now, and especially the hoodie with being so cozy. I'll make sure that I hang it up and take a picture. That way you guys can see everything at the end, the way it comes together. I'm going to step forward. Don't need to touch that screen. But I'm curious to make sure that. Okay. So this is what it looks like when it's all done. One of my favorite things to do with our products is mix textures and mix sheens. So a matte with a gloss, a matte with a metallic, a matte with texture. And in this case, we have used a little bit of a metallic. It's not considered a metallic, it's a Vegas gold. But if you look at it in person, there's tiny, tiny, tiny flecks of silver. So when you get up close and personal, you see that this has a different sheen than the matte pumpkin, the lid, and of course the cup. You then need to mix in with the glitter plate. So we've really got 3 different areas that can pull your eye to it. So What I want to do really quickly is go over cost, and then I would love to hear the feedback on what you guys think you could sell this for, because there's obviously some labor involved. The weeding is very minimal. Of course, when you set it up from a production standpoint, you're going to be setting that all up in the art department to where, or whoever is doing the art, that you're not going to be doing ones and twos at a time. So let me just go back. Let me go back to my desk area, and we will pop this over. I'm so happy you guys like this. Alrighty, so get your pen and paper out or return to watch this video. This sweatshirt is from S&S Activewear. It is Independent Trading Co. I did not write the style number down, but of course I wrote down everything else. It is style PRM 2500C. The color is sage, and they definitely had more of those really muted colors that are out right now. The blush, the sage, the charcoal. You're not going to find any vibrant colors in this particular item. It's a wholesale for $15.69. Now, when I used our ultimate vinyl guide to help kind of, our customers figure out how to price. Again, these are just estimates, so don't take what I said and run, because you're going to have to go in and update the overhead, and then, of course, like any type of hourly pay for your particular store. So the materials, $4, and that is any, weeding, masking, that's the time as well. So $4 a shirt, and then plus overhead. So that is not counted for, just because everybody is going to be completely different. So total $19.69 plus overhead. What do you think, you could sell this for? Because to me, in a retail setting or a boutique setting, I could see this going for like $40 just because of how many colors, and especially if you were to customize it. But I'm curious. Let's see what you guys have to say. Oh, you guys, thanks so much. I haven't checked the comments. I'm glad you guys like it. We'll definitely get the art out to you. Let's see if you guys have any thoughts on pricing. Let's see. I believe you are talking about whatever paper I use to press. And I actually use this craft paper. And this is something that you can cut up and use individually. Jenny uses a lot for sublimation. That way, if you get any, dye onto the paper, then you just throw it away and you get another one and you just cut it down to size. I love this. It's easy. It's what I've been using since I've been with Stahls. Let's see, what other questions? 43. Okay, Priscilla. So I was around this, at least around the same. So 35, 43, you can definitely see 35, easily 40. That's awesome, you guys. Well, I really hope that, I love to help people think outside of the box. Whether you do 6 colors or you make it a 2-color, or you use patterns, whatever you use, I hope that it generated some ideas. And maybe you can go home or go to work, wherever you're working, create it and generate some income for you. Thank you so much for attending this live. Of course, there were some hiccups, but I feel like that's just my nature. So again, I'm Kelly Walters, and thanks for watching this education with Stahls and getting creative with me. Thanks so much. Bye.